Hey everyone, just gonna share the details on what was discussed during the OnceHuman dev stream last night. I'm gonna try and keep this as simple as I can. I'll also put up sections in this video with a lot of images from the dev stream. So here we go. Here are the Q&A community questions that was asked. First, is there gonna be any character gender changes? And they said it's currently in WIP, which is work in progress, and there's currently no ETA. Second, are we able to delete a character? That's also a work in progress, and there's no ETA on that one. Are they gonna optimize any game lags like Prime Wars and stuff? They said that's a work in progress. They're doing stuff on the back end, and hopefully they could finish by the end of October. So we'll have to wait further details on that one. Next one was, is there going to be any planned dates for arena modes like 3 vs 3 or 4 vs 4? They said currently no. Construction optimizations, are they going to be adding more blueprints, furniture, all that stuff? And they said something like more shit will be added in the future. Are they going to increase building structure and facility limits? And they mentioned that there's a lot of strain on the servers, but they are currently testing their upper limits of what their server can handle. In this next question, I didn't really capture, so if y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all can comment out down below on the comments and let me know and clarify what that question was. Uh, the person said why small parapets are missing, and the guy just answered they're going to improve the building system. So that could be like the foundation of the structures, the snapping, who knows. But so y'all let me know. They asked if there's going to be an auction house. They said no. They want to foster interactions with people in their territories. Are they going to improve the reporting system and also improve the punishment? And they just mentioned that they're going to optimize the interface for reporting so that you do less while the report is still being effective on their end. So I guess they're going to provide more categories to fit on the reporting request we're going to ask for. Any new map content. They mentioned that there's going to be a new content with a different regional map. We'll have to see what that is about, because what we've seen on the Prismverse Clash map, it looks like it's just a cutout of the main map, which is different borders and sections. So we'll see what they're talking about there. Any crossplay. The team just says that they're currently focused on PC and they're about to launch a mobile version, a test mobile version, so that's probably still in the works. Mobile testing release date is 9/20, but for North American users, I checked yesterday, everything has been filled up already for Android and iOS. So that's all of the Q&A community questions that I have captured. So let's go on to the Prismverse Clash version 1.2. So one of the part H37, the deviation was providing an explanation of what this clash is. So there's going to be 4 phases total, and of those 4, there will be 3 seasonal phases. The first one is Prism Descent. It's going to last for 5 days, and only 5 areas are unlocked for both factions, Rosetta and Mayfly. The second one is Clash at Blackfell. That's going to last for 7 days, and the West Blackfell region is going to get unlocked. And then the third seasonal phase is the Last Stand, which also lasts for 7 days, and the East Blackfell region will be unlocked. The total days in the scenario will be 19 days total instead of 6 weeks, so that's good. They mentioned in the first day of the season, there's going to be, I guess, less preparation time and more PvP combat. So I think they're going to increase the rates of how you get experience, right? So that you're going to earn a lot more experience, you're going to level up quicker, and I guess once you're maxed out, you could drop right into PvP. They mentioned once you're defeated in combat, you won't lose any gear or drop anything. Other player territories can be raided. I'm going to assume that you have to be in a contestable zone in order to be raided. If you're like in a neutral zone or your own faction, I don't think they can be raided because it'll be really intense and crazy, right? Secure Prism Deviations to earn energy for your faction, and once placed in a securement unit within a contestable area, enemies will be notified of your location on the map. So I, that's all I got from H37. My questions on these is first, how far away can a player build in a contestable zone? If they can build anywhere, then we can expect the whole, I guess, perimeter or border will be walled up. So it's making harder for faction players to get through these walls, right? Also, another question I had was, when do you trigger PvP mode? Do you cross like an invisible wall or something in each of these regions, or is it like kind of further away from the border? Um, I can already expect hacking or exploiting with aimbots. Um, right, there's no real combat against these things, or else there won't be any hacking or aimbots because they still exist out there. And another thing I have concern on this is lag. Right, you have a shit ton of structures, you got a shit ton of buildings and players and all this detail on the map. I think it's gonna be laggy as hell. When I played with my two other friends in PvP mode during Evolution's call against 10 other players, it was really laggy. We were like teleporting everywhere, right? So that's my take on Prismverse Clash. They asked about faction imbalance. Uh, if you were in a smaller team going against a larger team, they said something about mimetic points will be shared between both factions, which I don't understand, but we'll see what that's like. There's going to be shorter purification time, so I guess if you're on a faction with a smaller team and you purify it, once you insert the prism deviations, I guess those times will be a lot shorter than if you had a balanced faction going against each other. Let me see what else. And they said battles will start when both teams are balanced. So I'm going to assume that once you start the Prismverse Clash, before you enter, right, you got to choose two factions, Rosetta or Mayfly. If a certain faction is filled up, I'm going to assume it's going to be grayed out and the other faction will be available to join. And once that's filled up, then the battles will start, right? So that's my only take about that last statement there. They mentioned that there would be both faction and individual rewards. So we know that PvP is going to start on September 26th. They mentioned that if a PvE player joined this PvP server, can they join the next PvE Way of Winter scenario smoothly? So the concern was, if players join Prismverse Clash, will they be able to move on to the new PvE server? And the answer is, well, Prismverse Clash is only 19 days total, but if you join at a later date on this server, then you join on a later date on the PvE server. Because if players left early during the Prismverse Clash, there would be a major imbalance to faction. So let's just say you have 50 players on Rosetta and 50 players on Mayfly. 75% of Mayfly players are PvE, right? So once Way of Winter is open and those 75% of players go to Way of Winter, then it's going to be 50 players versus right the remaining 25%. So it's going to have a lot of imbalance there. So you got to finish the scenario before you can join Way of Winter. The flow of entering a scenario like Prismverse Clash, so just like before, will show up on the diagram. But they said that players will be able to choose between two factions before joining the server. Then you'll go into the game as a member of that faction, competing against each other for prism deviations. In this scenario, you'll have faster leveling, so there's not going to be a lot of grind. You just dive straight into the action. They also mentioned two new special Prismverse deviations will be in this one. There's no war ban, so if your faction wins the phase, all members in the faction is rewarded Starchrome. During each phase, players can do individual seasonal goals again to gain more Starchrome and mimetic points. If a faction wins or there's a draw, everyone will be getting 9 Legacy of Conflict loot crates. But if a faction loses, then you'll earn 6 Legacy of Conflict loot crates. The more contribution you do in a phase, the higher the rewards you'll get. You can also share personal rewards with one other player, which I don't understand what that means because we don't know what those rewards will look like, so we'll have to see. So yeah, that's it for Prismverse Clash. So if I'm missing anything, y'all can mention down in the comments below, and I can learn from y'all too. Alright, so for Way of Winter, we know that this PvE scenario releases on October 17th. They said that you can catch all the details on the next live stream for version 1.3. Currently, there's no date, but eventually they're going to release that date on the Discord channel, so stay tuned. There's going to be like new survival mechanics. I'm going to assume that there's going to be a temperature mechanic, so if it gets too cold, maybe your meta gets slower, your stamina is harder to regenerate, and stuff like that, right? So you have to go to a warmer area to gain back that temperature, gain back your stamina, and being able to operate in the game, right? So that's my projection of what this mechanic will be like. New features coming soon for OnceHuman. They're going to introduce a new creative workshop where all metas will provide scenarios as suggestions to the team. And if your idea is chosen, the team will work on that idea and implement it in the game. Also, you will be rewarded for 1,500 US dollars. So get cranking. Breeding will be live in version 1.2. If the conditions are met, then they will be qualified for breeding. So the three conditions are: first, your animals have to have a high taming level, they have to have reached adulthood, and you also need a youngling hut, which you'll need space for a newborn. So once you have all these three conditions met, then they will be qualified for breeding, and there's a small chance that your animals will go into a mating state. The ranching system will update the appearance system, so you're going to have different patterns and variations to your offsprings, and they're going to be adding 3 new animals such as the capybaras, leopards, and flamingos. I don't know why flamingos, but flamingos. They're going to optimize Eternaland, so they're going to add a entrance UI where players can see other Eternalands out there. Users can socially interact with each Eternaland by, I guess, once they enter it as a public Eternaland, if they like it, then they can click on the like button, and this brings the most prestigious Eternalands to the front. So there's going to be a lot of great social enhancements and more gameplay features in the future, so we'll see what that looks like. New regional languages will be supported in version 1.2, such as Russian, Spanish, and Portuguese. There's going to be a new weapon blueprint, which is the Katana. I remember when I played the beta, it was there. In my opinion, it's not that strong. It just looks very cool. And they're going to add in the Speedy Wing vehicle skin, which is for your car. Here's the video of what that looks like.
About now.
I am the final. I never lie, better listen. I'm in my prime, and you're never gonna catch up. Victory's my next stop. What I got you want, you're never gonna get a piece of. You said I was never gonna make it, now look at me. I'm killing it, jealousy, and all you ever do is try to be like me. Your price will never reach up.
There's going to be new Twitch drops for version 1.2. They're going to be exclusive. They're going to be running from September 26th to October 16th. When you watch 2 hours of live content of OnceHuman, you're going to get the exclusive mask. And when you watch another 2 hours, you're going to get the shotgun tiger skin. So I think that's all of the information I captured from the dialogue. I feel that it's not going to be entirely just PvP, and I may be wrong. What I want to see happen is teamwork between PvP and PvE players in a faction. Like, PvE players can help gather raw materials and help supply the PvP frontline with ammo, food buffs, and structural materials. Then PvP players can concentrate on gathering the ammo they need and building a fortification to their desire. So, since there's going to be a shit ton of structures, this is a good time for factions to get like an artillery team to start using RPGs and grenade launchers, try to destroy those foundations, bring down those fortifications. Then you can have your infantry team to go in and take out as many enemies. So that's what I hope to see, where PvE players do all the PvP stuff, supply everything to the front line for PvP players to do their job. So that's my take on the dev stream. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Um, and yeah, thanks for watching.